Humans have had a massive impact on the ecosystems of the planet, from the deepest ocean to the roof of the world. Every breath you take, all the food you eat, the soil that the food is grown in, all of this is at risk right now, and it puts humanity at risk.
Over the last century, much of Western society has lived in ways in which we didn't care about the environment. We treated it as something that would be endless. What we know today is that that's just not true.
The fight that we are faced with now is literally a fight for our existence, for our species' survival. If we wipe ourselves out, the planet will probably be the better for it. The challenge is not to save the planet, it's to save ourselves from ourselves.
We are already committed to a certain amount of sea level rise. We're already committed to a certain amount of warming. We're already seeing increased storm activities.
If we simply look at sea surface temperature and the superstorms of just the past decade, we can see a compelling correlation between the severity of the hazards that are happening and climate change.
In 2017, there were 18 countries that had new conflict arise because of food and water insecurity. This tends to displace people from their homelands, and we have seen a sharp upturn in the last decade in global immigration.
The only way that we're going to rise to the challenge that is faced by climate change is to enact action at institutional scales. Sustainability demands different ways of thinking, being, and doing to rise to those challenges. Hawaii is uniquely poised to be a model for the rest of the world.
UH has a lot of amazing research and educational programs that really contribute to problem solving around climate change. So we can think about that in terms of major resource areas like food, energy, and water systems. Also understanding how people might adapt, understanding the social impacts.
We have generations of ancestral knowledge that link people to this place, to Hawaii. Our ancestors created these incredibly complementary systems of land division that were culturally appropriate, ecologically aligned, so people understood that what they do on the land affects the marine environment. So it's a very powerful model for creating a union between ecosystem and culture.
What's especially urgent for us here in Hawaii is to realize that we have no other place to get water from except for our own local resources. As climate change continues, we can expect to see more areas drying out. We're a perfect experimental system to figure out how to create a sustainable water system that depends only on our actions here in Hawaii.
We now understand that the soil ecosystems of the world are perhaps the largest possible reservoir to sink carbon dioxide in the form of soil organic matter. You are not only mitigating climate change, but you're building the adaptive capacity of agricultural ecosystems.
What many people fail to realize is if you looked at a market and you went to the produce section, what is there because it's pollinated by bees. Here at UH Hilo, we teach our students good apiculture practices because this is what is going to be needed in order to sustain bee populations worldwide.
The School of Ocean and Earth Sciences and Technology is a research powerhouse. SOST sees climate change as a major challenge for Hawaii. We have pivoted our research to improve resiliency of our communities in recognition of the real impacts of sea level rise.
Energy is another risk that needs to be managed. Finding the pathway to a green economy, that's what's really going to drive the market. And once that cost picture changes, nothing's going to stop it. One of the value propositions of renewables is that you're using resources typically that don't have a fuel expense.
Our oceans are a big portion of the Earth's surface, and much of the population of the world lives within 50 or 100 miles of a coastline. So wave energy is one of many forms of renewable energy that we need to explore.
We really want to emphasize through our curriculum that there are things that we can do, and how do we empower students with the skills they need to make a difference, not 10 years from now, but the things that they need to be doing right now.
How many more wake-up calls do we need? The wake-up calls are occurring with increasing frequency. This is our time now to rise to that challenge and do the things that we need to do to be able to help our communities solve and respond to these issues.